Welcome to Reading the Bible with Pastor. Today we're on Genesis chapter 49, starting at verse 28. Previously, Jacob had blessed each of his sons with a specific blessing, and today we'll read about Jacob's last request and death. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is what their father said to them as he blessed them, blessing each with a blessing suitable to him. Then he commanded them and said to them, I am to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, to the east of Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron the Hittite to possess as a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave that is in it were bought from the Hittites. When Jacob finished commanding his sons, he drew up his feet into bed and breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Then Joseph fell on his father's face and wept over him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. So the physicians embalmed Israel. 40 days were required for it, for that is how many are required for embalming. And the Egyptians wept for him 70 days. So that would be 40 days of embalming and 30 days of just mourning. And when the days of weeping for him were past, Joseph spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, I am about to die. In my tomb that I hewed out for myself in the land of Canaan, there shall you bury me. Now therefore, let me please go up and bury my father, then I will return. Joseph makes a request, not to Pharaoh, but to Pharaoh's household. Other translations put this as court or his advisors, and shows that Joseph is trying to put himself in a humble state before Pharaoh because he is requesting to leave. He's a very important person, and requesting to leave, the Pharaoh might deny that, but he says he has promised his father, and we'll read that Pharaoh respects that and lets Joseph leave and return. In verse 6, And Pharaoh answered, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear. So Joseph went up to bury his father. With him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his household, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, as well as all the household of Joseph, his brothers and his father's household. Only their children, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen. It was a very great company. So for the death of Jacob, Joseph's father, it is given quite a ceremony in his burial. When they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond the Jordan, they lamented there with a very great and grievous lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. When the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning on the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning for the Egyptians. Therefore the place was named Abel Mizraim. It is beyond the Jordan. Abel Mizraim means mourning of Egypt. Thus his sons did for him as he commanded them. For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field at Machpelah, to the east of Mamre, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron the Hittite to possess as a burying place. After he had buried his father, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers and all who had gone up with him to bury his father. Joseph buries his father after Jacob has made his last request to be buried in the land of Canaan, where there is the promise that that land will become a possession for his family in the future years to come. We're in the last chapter of Genesis, and we'll pick up next time in chapter 50, verse 15. As always, please subscribe to the channel and share this with others so that they may also read the Bible with Pastor.